Okay, and I apologize for that. I'm not sure what happened. We briefly lost our video connection, but we are back now. Back at you. And now it is 32-23. So anyway, hopefully we'll have no more interruptions the rest of the game. And now Keto there misses on the free throw, and it's knocked out of bounds to Cascade. So the Cadets just, hanging on. This game is very close to slipping away from them. Vincent Walker on the last possession completed a three-point play. And now Walker has it, and that, however, it's stolen. He wasn't paying attention. It was taken from behind there by Derek Farkas. And now no good, but Taylor gets the rebound. He averages 6 a game. And now fake there by Bannister. Out to Taylor, fakes a three, drives in, pitches inside. However, it's knocked around, and Bannister saves it there, gives it back to Taylor. Who else? 2:17 to go in the half. And now we got to travel there. So now, hello? Hello? Okay. So anyway, Cascade trailing by 9 here. And now apparently trying to get some contact, but he doesn't get any. And now at the other end, Edgewood, Taylor with the ball. And now he takes it to the basket. Nice pass over to Keto, no good. Walker goes for the rebound, and finally Tharp comes up with it. Brings it down himself, pitches it back out, over now to Walker, posts up, turnaround jumper, no good, and it's knocked out of bounds to Cascade. So Cascade, they need to get something going here in this last minute 32 of the first half now. Tharp with the ball. And now it's a loose ball here. Cascade, and it looks like it's going to be a jump ball. Possession arrow favors Cascade with 1:16 to go. Trailing by 9, it's been a 16-5 advantage for Edgewood in this 16-5 run by Edgewood to start off the quarter here. Now inside to Tharp, looks like he tries to draw the foul, doesn't get it. Now Taylor pitches down court to a driving Balcom, who lays it in. So I've often heard it say that great players make other players better, and Trevor Taylor certainly is living up to that, as it's an 11-point Mustangs lead now, and Cascade now looks like they're starting to get rattled. But yeah, after the way they're playing today, I would not be surprised if Edgewood makes a run at the Class 3A state championship. So now Tharp takes a three, and now he's, did they get him for I thought he got hacked there, but I guess they called him for traveling. I didn't see the referee make that call, but I am very sorry that you all lost a couple of minutes of the game. Hopefully it wasn't much, but anyway. Thanks for bearing with me. I'll try to make it up with you with no more disconnections the rest of the season. So Edgewood, now looks like they might be holding for the last shot, even with an 11-point lead. 14 seconds to go now. Bannister with the ball, nice turnaround, bank shot, and Ginter the rebound. 7 seconds to go, and now there's a whistle there. And now it looks like, I'm trying to see his number there. Looks like Kyle Rogers, a senior for Edgewood, got hit there on his left arm. So we got 5.1 seconds to go. Cascade ball. Hopefully we'll cut it down to single digits. So now 3 seconds, and now we've got a foul there away from the ball. I think it's going to be on Ginter. I think they got him for pushing on Bannister. So Edgewood takes over with 2 seconds to go in the half and an 11-point lead. And now over to Taylor, three-pointer at the buzzer, no good. Still, all things considered, not a great first half for Cascade, but, considering the opponent, to be down by 11 right now is not bad. Your score at halftime, the 10th-ranked Class 3A Edgewood Mustangs 34, your Cascade Cadets 23. We'll be back with the first half recap after these words from our sponsors on audiosportsonline.com. The Cascade High School Athletic Department simply would not be able to operate without the financial support of our business partners. We would like to recognize and thank them for their generosity. The official health provider to the cadets, Hendricks Regional Health, Diamond Partners, Best Way Drywall, the North Salem State Bank, Platinum Partners, Allen Irrigation Company, CJ's Pizza, Dunn Insurance Agency, Jill and Ian Bell's Expert Realtors.net, and Global Construction Management, Silver Partners Electric Plus, Bassett Services Heating and Cooling, and Clean Sensation Auto Detail, and Bronze Partner Endeavor Communications. Thank you, business partners. Your support of the student athletes of Cascade High School is greatly appreciated. Well, back here at Clayton, we're at halftime with your Cascade Cadets trailing the Edgewood Mustangs by a score of 34-12. Edgewood comes into the game with a record of 3-0 and ranked number 10 in the state in Class 3A. And the only question that I have is why they're not ranked higher. They look to me more like a top 5 or top 3 team. Their star player, 6'3" sophomore sensation, Trevor Taylor, every bit as good as advertised. He has dominated this game. Cascade hung tough and managed to lead by 18-16 at the end of one quarter. However, in the second quarter, Taylor managed to get more of his teammates involved, and that seems to have been the difference. Taylor has been great in both quarters, but the overall contributions of his teammates have increased in the second quarter. And meanwhile, Cascade's gotten rattled and really gone cold from the field. And now we've got some sort of Little League game going here during the halftime. So that'll be fun to watch, some bonus coverage for you all. But anyway, a look at the individual scoring. First of all, for your Cascade Cadets, Benson Walker has made the most of his size advantage. He leads the way with 9, followed by Mason Tharp with 7, Cameron Ginter with 5, and Stephen Alderson with 2. However, the Cadets managed only 5 points in the second quarter compared to Edgewood's 18. Meanwhile, for Edgewood, Trevor Taylor with more than half his team's points. He has 18. And then from there, it's very balanced the rest of the way. Tate Balcom has 6. Cam Bannister has 4. Joe Kaido has 3. Coleman Sater has 2. And Austin Schwartz has 1. So, in conclusion, not likely that Cascade will manage to pull off the win here. But, I don't want us to beat ourselves. I don't want us to look intimidated. I don't want us to rush anything, I just want us to play the best cadet basketball we can, play our A game, play with the eye of the tiger for the entire 16 minutes of the second half. And even if we fall short, I'll be happy. I won't be happy if we, play like we're intimidated and just fall in. So, sometimes, and this is more so, you're more prone to this when you're a 2A school or a 1A school, Cascade being 2A. Sometimes you just, you're up against a brick wall and there's nothing you can do about it. But, Cascade does not have anybody anywhere close to the caliber of Trevor Taylor. And that's no disgrace. Most teams don't. We could play our A-plus game, and Taylor could still have a monster game, especially because he has 3 teammates who average 12 points a game apiece while he averages 21. So even if we manage to contain him, they have several other guys who are very capable of beating us. So, I accept that we're in over our heads with the talent that we're up against. I just want us to see, we have no control over how good the other team is. We have total control over how we respond to it, though. I just want us to play our A game, or better yet, our A-plus game, but the main thing is just, give an effort that we're proud of and, continue to move up the ladder. This is only game 6 of the season. We have about 17 or 18 games more before we start the playoffs, and I want to make sure that, we're ready, especially because I think this sectional is going to be wide open this year. Cloverdale has had a stranglehold on the sectional the last 4 years with Jalen Moore, all 4 years. Cooper Neese the first 3 of those years. Now they're both gone playing Division I college ball. Neese at Indiana State, Moore at Utah State. And I think it's going to be a very competitive sectional. And it's going to be, I think, a balanced enough sectional that we could have a team that's not particularly heralded come in and get a sectional win, which is not terribly unusual. So, I don't know if this is going to be a team that's going to have a shot to win the sectional or not. But the point is, I want to make sure that we give everything we can, and at the end of the season, wherever we are, that we know that it's, that we're wherever we are, that, that we feel good about it, and that we know we do our best, and that we know the program is continuing to move up the ladder. So, anyway, now, the thing is they're not keeping track of the score on this Little League game, so I can't give you a report about it, but it is fun to watch, though, and it's it's a great opportunity for these kids, who, I'm sure a lot of them are, dream of playing on this court, in high school games in just a few years. And so, hopefully I will still be here as your commentator by then, but we'll see. If the good Lord is so gracious, to me, to allow me to continue to live and think and talk and analyze that long. And if you all are gracious enough to keep having me out here, I will keep coming out here and being your friendly commentator. And it looks like that game is done. The kids getting a good deserved ovation. We got a pretty nice crowd here. I think somewhere in the neighborhood of 300 people, including maybe about 75 to 100 Edgewood fans who made the trip about an hour from the lovely community of Ellettsville, a suburb of Bloomington. And by the way, this year I did commentate Cascade at Edgewood in football, the first time I've ever been to Edgewood. And, of course, they're best known for their red football field, but they had this incredible running back, a senior named LeVar Bellamy, who looked like very much a Division I running back, certainly one of the best running backs I've ever commentated. And he had moved for his senior year from Iowa, where oddly he had barely played. I'd like to know who he was playing behind. Maybe some All-American, I don't know. But, Bellamy, he completely annihilated us. And it's a similar scenario, that basically he looked like a man. They had one player, Bellamy for football, and now Trevor Taylor for boys basketball, who just looks like a man among boys, and who were just powerless to do anything to stop. But playing against guys like him is going to make us better. So, I am overall pretty happy with the way that the girls played tonight, and the boys. I mean, considering the opponent, to be down by 11 is really not that bad, and we have at times looked panicked and rushed, but it's not like we've just beat ourselves with one bad pass after another. So this is. I give the boys so far, a B minus maybe for their execution. It has not been bad. This is a team that has far, far, far more talent than we do. So I don't think we don't have much to be ashamed of so far. But like I said, I just don't want us to beat ourselves in the second half. And now with the 15 seconds left on the halftime clock. But by the way, we will be back here tomorrow. Unfortunately, only one broadcast tomorrow. It'll be just the boys. Now, of course, well, if you want to get here early, you can see in person 2 games. You'll get to see the JV game. But nevertheless, it'll be great to be out here. This will be my 3rd trip to Clayton this week. And, we will be playing the Danville Warriors, a very familiar opponent. Painfully familiar. Danville's won their last 22 games versus us in boys basketball. The Warriors were ranked earlier in the season. They've dropped out after a 1-2 start, although both of their losses have come in overtime to ranked teams. But what a couple of years that Danville has had in football and both boys and girls basketball. So now back to action. We started the second half here. Edgewood, good ball movement, and now I think they're going to get Walker for the foul there on Sater. So now a steal there, and now Bannister lays it up, but no good, and Walker all over it, gets the rebound, and now, however, a pass to Tharp out of bounds to Cascade. To Edgewood, excuse me, I'm sorry. So it's a 13-point Edgewood lead early in the 3rd quarter. And now 3-pointer no good. Ginter the rebound. Ginter's done a great job filling in for the injured Ross Stevenson, our starting power forward from last season. Expected to miss the entire season when he's with a knee injury. And now a turnaround jumper, no good by Tharp after about 6 or 7 bounces, literally. And now Taylor takes it down behind the back dribble. Gives it over, and now back to Taylor, fakes a 3, drives the baseline, pitches across court to Bannister, takes it with a floating jump shot, and it rolls in. Bannister with 6 now. Trevor Taylor leads the way as expected with 18, but 5 other Mustangs have scored, and it's a 4-0 run to start off the half. by the Mustangs, and they have a game-high 15-point lead. So now Ginter with the ball across court to Tharp. Now three-pointer by Phillips, no good off the back of the rim. Bannister brings it up at the left perimeter. Now over to Keto. Now to and now across court to Bannister, and now over to Rogers. Now Keto fakes the three. Now pitches out to Rogers for three, and he swishes it. So Rogers gets his first points of the game, and it's a 7-0 run to start off the half by Edgewood. They open up, 8-0 run, as that was a 3-point field goal. So now Edgewood opens up an 18-point lead here with 5:36 to go here in the third quarter, and it looks like this one is out of reach for us. So it has been a good effort. We've just been over our heads tonight, and it's amazing that we led after one quarter. So now Cascade just trying to get anything going. Okay, so it is a 7-0 run to start off the. So it's a trivial difference, but it is a 7-0 margin to start off the half by Edgewood. And now coming off a pick there, and now Gavin Hetler into the game, is 6'5" backup center. He's a junior. Hopefully he will emerge as a senior next season the way that Benson Walker has. Now, I'd like to see Hetler get some good minutes with Walker this season, being a Twin Towers combination. Certainly they would have a size advantage over a lot of our opponents this season. So now Cascade with the ball, 4:49 to go in the third quarter, trailing by 18. And now floater in the lane is good there by Alderson. He has 4, cutting the lead to 15. Those were the first Cascade points of the half. Now a three-pointer from the corner by Bannister, no good. Rebound there by Tharp, and we got a foul against Edgewood. So Cascade starting to get a little momentum going, trailing by 16 midway through the third quarter. Not likely to get the win here, but certainly it's want to see him play well. And now at the other end of the court, Tharp over to Alderson. Takes it himself, another floater, and he hits it. So Alderson with 4 quick points to counter the 7-0 run with which Edgewood started off the half. And so Keto comes... now a three-pointer from the corner is good there. So good way by, that was Balcom there. He has 9. One away from becoming the second double-figure scorer for, and now Hetler with a nice baseline jumper there. Those are his first points. Showing some good form on that jumper. And now at the other end, right-handed hook, no good. And now out to Bannister, free throw line jumper, and he swishes it. He has 8. That's a 45-29 lead for Edgewood with 3:30 to go here in the third quarter at Clayton. In the second half of a boys-girls doubleheader, Cascade won the girls' game 41-35 over Edgewood. Third consecutive win on the season for the Lady Cadets, starting to get things in order after that 0-6 start. And I'll tell you, looking at Edgewood's roster, except for the 5'7" Keto, every player on Edgewood is listed at 6 feet or higher. So they don't have anyone anywhere near as tall as Vincent Walker. They do have great height, and by comparison, Cascade has 6 players under 6 feet tall on the varsity roster. So definitely size, except for obviously Walker and Hetler, not, one of our strengths. And now underneath the basket, Alderson puts it up, and I think he drew the foul in the act of shooting, so he will be going to the line.
Mustangs team foul on Schwartz.
And no good after a few bounces. And he missed them both. Not a big deal. Went down by 16 late in the third quarter, but still you want to get in the habit. And now Keto gets a little too wild, loses control of it, and Alderson picks it up, brings it down, and now he falls. And let's see what the call is. It's going to be on Edgewood. On Bannister, that's his second, team fifth. Now Du Bois coming in for Phillips. Now cross court to Hetler. Hetler showing some good ball handling skills for a big guy. Now up to Ginter. He looks around. All the way across court, and it's tipped out of bounds to, he was trying to get it to Tharp. It goes out of bounds, however, to Edgewood. Tharp and Ginter, by the way, had 7 and 5 in the first quarter. Neither has scored since. And now at the other end, we got a whistle here. It's going to be on Tharp. Kottkamp now coming in for Ginter. And now short baseline jumper, no good. Hetler the rebound. And now out to Taylor, who has not scored in this half. And he takes it in and is fouled in the act of shooting, so he'll be going to the line with 2:16 to go here in the quarter. And he hits it. So Taylor with 19. 18 of them came in the first half. So Taylor with 20 now. And now it's a steal there by Bannister. And now he pitches over to Taylor, over to Keto. Now Bannister lays it in. He has 10, the second double-figure scorer for Edgewood. We now have a game high, and now Keto with the steal, and he lays it in. I think now it's time for a timeout. I don't like. I feel like we're starting to fall in. Oh, no, and what kind of pass was that? So it's just some terrible miscommunication. Taylor comes away with it. Already a 23-point lead, and now Keto fakes a three. Now dribbles back. And now drive to the basket, no good. And Cascade. And now there's going to be a foul against Edgewood with 1:09 to go in the third quarter. Cascade trailing by 23.
Mustang team foul on Balkan. Entering the cadets
That's on
helmet,
Balkan.
Sanders and Walker.
Sixth foul against Edgewood. So now underneath to Walker, however, he loses control. Taylor comes away with it, pitches down court to a driving Bannister. Now way over, and now some good ball movement there. Edgewood's had very good ball movement tonight. Now a driving jumper, no good there by Keto, and now we got a foul with 50.1 seconds to go. This one's going to be on Kottkamp, his first. That's the fifth. And now a jump shot by Taylor. Was it 2 or 3? I'm not sure. 2. So Taylor with his first field goal of the half. He has 22 on the game. Right around his average. He averaged 21.7 coming into this one. So now Rogers coming in for Bannister for Edgewood, and then Schwartz coming in for Keto. So now with only 33 seconds to go in the third quarter, and Edgewood with a comfortable 25-point lead. I doubt we'll see a whole lot more of the starters in this game. Now a free throw line jumper, no good. And I'd like to see some of our reserves getting more action. Hetler got quite a few minutes. Varsity got quite a few minutes tonight, which is good to see. So now baseline jumper is good there. It's good there by Schwartz. Hit with his first field goal. He had a free throw earlier. So after 3 quarters of play here in Clayton, your Cascade Cadets looks like they're on their way to a loss against the loaded Edgewood Mustangs. Your score, Edgewood 55, Cascade 29. We'll be back with the conclusion after these words from our sponsors on audiosportsonline.com. The Cascade High School Athletic Department simply would not be able to operate without the financial support of our business partners. We would like to recognize and thank them for their generosity. The official health provider to the cadets, Hendricks Regional Health. Diamond Partners, Bestway Drywall and North Salem State Bank. Platinum Partners, Allen Irrigation Company, CJ's Pizza, and Dunn Insurance Agency. Gold Partner, Endeavor Communications. The Cascade High School Athletic Department simply would not be able to operate without the financial support of our business partners. We would like to recognize and thank them for their generosity. The official health provider to the cadets, Hendricks Regional Health. Diamond Partners, Bestway Drywall and North Salem State Bank. Platinum Partners, Allen Irrigation Company, CJ's Pizza, Dunn Insurance Agency, Jill and Ian Belzick for Realtors.net and Global Construction Management, Silver Partners, Electric Plus, Bassett Services Heating and Cooling, and Clean Sensation Auto Detail, and Bronze Partner Endeavor Communications. Thank you, business partners. Your support of the student athletes of Cascade High School is greatly appreciated. Well, back here at Clayton, we're about to start the fourth quarter. Well, we just did start the fourth quarter of the second game of our boys-girls doubleheader. The Cascade girls did win the opener 41-35 over Edgewood. However, the boys not so fortunate. They trailed the 10th ranked team in Class 3A by a score of 55-26. A three-pointer there, no good. However, A.J. Sanders right on top of it. He puts it back up and in for his first points of the game. 55-31. A.J.'s one of several three-sport athletes here at Cascade. So Trevor Taylor with the ball. And both coaches sticking with at least some of the starters here, at least early in the fourth quarter. And now a three-pointer in and out there. However, there was a whistle before. 8:39 your time of day. I won't go as far as to say this game has been a disaster for Cascade. The second half has been a disappointment. Just that the kids have, I feel like they've just felt like that they just got frustrated and just started rushing and got desperate. And I just wanted them to see them just play their game to the best of their ability. And, not play like, not play like they're down, as much as they are, and just play with a lot of enthusiasm and understanding that they're building for the future rather than playing like they just, like they're frustrated. So Tharp, no good on the first free throw. The foul, by the way, was on Derek Farkas. Now drive to the basket is good there by Balcom, and he has 11, so now we have 3 double-figure scores for the Mustangs. And now a steal, and laid up and in there again by, that was by Farkas, which is his first points of the game. And things coming apart at the seams for Cascade. They trail by 29 now. So disappointing second half here for Cascade. Taylor brings it up. Sixth, and now a three-pointer air ball, and out of bounds to Cascade. And now A.J. Sanders left wide open. He lays it in. He has 4 now, all in this quarter. Basketball is his least accomplished sport, but, hopefully A.J. will, do some good things on the basketball. Now turnaround jumper by Tharp, no good. A.J. pulls down the rebound. Not bad for only being 5'10". Really excited about seeing how A.J. does as a senior on the football team next year. He's been our MVP the last 2 years, and now he'll be going to the free throw line. Farkas commits the foul there. It's his second, team 9th. So one more and we get into the double bonus. So he hits the first one. Wow, and it was a nice effort by Tharp to get the rebound there too. So A.J. with 5 now. I believe that's already a career high for him. And he hits it, so A.J. with 6. We do not have a double-figure scorer, by the way. So now Taylor gives it over. And now a beautiful penetrating move. No good on the layup by Rogers, however. And now it's a travel. So now Keto bringing it up. Now three-pointer wide open from the corner by Bannister, no good. However, rebound, and now brought up to Taylor, fakes the 3, drives the baseline, puts it up, and he draws the foul. 5:29 to go. Cascade trailing by 25. Keep in mind, Edgewood is undefeated at 3-0, and they are the 10th ranked team in Class 3A. And I think right now, if I were Coach Du Bois, as Taylor hits that, increasing his scoring total, his game-leading scoring total. He has 23 now. Now Ginter comes in for Walker. But if I were Coach Du Bois, I'd go ahead and take the guys out because, I mean, we've got a game tomorrow night, and we got to save something for it. Taylor hits both. He has 24, 6 in this half, and it's a 27-point lead. And now a pass there by Sanders is stolen. And now over to Bannister. Now a three-pointer, a long three by Taylor, and he swishes it. Exclamation point. And now it's a game-high 30-point lead for Edgewood, and even 5 minutes to play. And a floating jump shot good by Alderson. He has 8. Second on the team behind Walker's 9. And now driving shot by Sater, and he's fouled in the act of shooting. That's going to be on Ginter, his third, team 7th. Sater will go to the line for 2. He's the other star. And it's off. The first one is no good. Sater, the other star sophomore for this team. Keeter, and now he misses both of them. And nice rebound there by Tharp. So Cascade trying to finish the game on a positive note. And now a three-pointer by Phillips. And he hit it after a few bounces. So Phillips with his first points of the game, cutting the lead to 25. It's been as high as 30. And now we've got a foul. And now Sater commits a foul. That's his 4th, team 10th. So Cascade now in the double bonus. Yeah, basically Sater is Rogers and Keto are the 2 seniors who average 12 points a game. Then Sater, a sophomore who averages 12, and then Taylor averages 21. And now a three-pointer, a long jump shot just inside the three-point line. And put back up and in there by Alderson, who finally becomes our first double-figure scorer. He has 10 with 3:51 to go in the game. So Cascade now has scored 7 in a row to make the final score sound not too bad. Not as bad as it would have. It's been as many as 30. So now Keto goes to the line. And he hits it. He has 6 tonight. One of 8 Mustangs to score. His second one is up and no good. That does break a 7-0 Cascade run, however. So now Tharp over to Alderson. Spin around, puts it up. No good, rebound Keto. Now pitches down court to Taylor. And now a beautiful feed and a lay-in there by Balcom, who has 13, second highest on the team behind Taylor's 27. And lead goes back up to, and now cross court, three-pointer from Phillips, no good. And rebound by Bannister, pitches down to a driving Balcom, and he lays it in easily. Balcom now with 15. And it's a 70-42 lead. Now at the other end, Edgewood almost doesn't get back on defense in time, but they do. And now, finally, looks like everybody's coming out of the game for Cascade. And it looks like everybody's coming out for both teams. And, yeah, I really wish Cascade would have taken out all the starters a little while earlier since, really at the beginning of at least taking them out at the beginning of the fourth quarter, since we do have another game tomorrow night that we need to stay fresh for, especially because it's, against a team that's beaten us 22 consecutive times. Of course, I'm referring to Danville. And now a struggle for the loose ball. Hetler gets it. It's a jump ball possession. Arrow favors Edgewood. And now a struggle, nearly a 10-second violation there after, and now we got, looks like there's a number, I don't know who, I don't have a number 3 on my roster here for Edgewood, so sorry, I can't tell you who that is. He looks talented, though. Now the ball, however, just taken out of his hands there by Alderson. Drives to the basket, puts it up, draws the foul. Almost had a chance for a three-point play. 2:28 to go here. 8:50 your time of day. So Cascade and Edgewood will split the doubleheader. The girls won earlier 41-35 for their third consecutive win. They will try to finish off this 6-game homestand with a win over Monrovia on Tuesday night. That would give us a 4-2 record on the homestand. Certainly the girls, turning things around. And now Alderson hits them both. He has a team-high 12. (70-26) your score, with 2:22 to play in the game. Cascade losing to the number 10 ranked team in Class 3A, the Edgewood Mustangs, sporting possibly the best sophomore in the state in the sensational Trevor Taylor. Remember the name. He should be playing Division I college basketball in 3 years and probably at a pretty darn good school. And now a driving layup is good by Hetler. He has 4. So a lot of players scoring tonight, 1:57 to go. And now pass through the hands there of Rogers. So now he tried to feed a driving A.J. Sanders, but goes out of bounds to Edgewood with 1:44 to go in the game. And now a driving layup is good there by Rogers. He has 5. So Sanders with the ball now. Puts it up. Nice move to the basket. He hits it. And Sanders now with 8. All in the fourth quarter, by the way. And now a nice steal attempt. However, it is saved there by Farkas with 1:02 to go in the game. And now more mass substitutions for Cascade. And this is, and now as Farkas goes to the line for Edgewood with a 24-point lead and 1:02 to go in the game. First free throw is no good. Rebound by Hetler, excuse me. Now inside to now a three-pointer there, no good, and now it's put up and in there by Will Lanphier, coming in from the JV team with his first points of the game. And now a long three, no good, and rebound there by Evan Stack. And now drive to the basket and a foul there in the act of shooting on Rogers. But Lanphier is a 6'7" junior. I'd like to see him get some more varsity minutes as well. And now after about 5 bounces or so, Rogers good on that free throw. He has 6 on the game. 73-50 your score. 20.4 seconds left. And he hits them both. So now Lamphere, a turnaround bank shot, no good. And now a fight over the rebound. And now finally Edgewood comes away with it, and we have a whistle there with only 2.9 seconds to go in the game. So Edgewood with a, looks like they're going to get a win here by and now number 3, so he's not on my roster, so I'll just have to put number 3. He hit them both. And that's the game. The Cascade just runs it out. So a painful but understandable loss for your Cascade Cadets after the girls win the first game of the doubleheader by a score of 41. By a score of 41-35, the boys against the 10th ranked team in Class 3A, not so lucky. They fall by a score of 76-50. We will be back with the recap and a look ahead to tomorrow night's showdown with Danville after these final words from our sponsors on audiosportsonline.com. The Cascade High School Athletic Department simply would not be able to operate without the financial support of our business partners. We would like to recognize and thank them for their generosity. The official health provider to the Cadets, Hendricks Regional Health, Diamond Partners, Bestway Drywall, and North Salem State Bank, Platinum Partners, Allen Irrigation Company, CJ's Pizza, and Dunn Insurance Agency, and Jill and Ian Bell's Expert Realtors.net and Global Construction Management, Silver Partners, Electric Plus, Bassett Services Heating and Cooling, and Clean Sensation Auto Detail, and bronze partner Endeavor Communications. Thank you, business partners. Your support of the student athletes of Cascade High School is greatly appreciated. Well, back here at Clayton for a final time tonight, where your Cascade Cadets have split a boys-girls doubleheader with the Edgewood Mustangs. The girls won the opening game, beating Edgewood by a score of 41-35, giving the Lady Cadets their third consecutive victory after the 0-6 start. However, the boys were not as lucky. They were up against, they were really in over their heads. This was a team that they had very little chance to beat. And, I said early in the game that if there were betting lines on high school sports, Cascade probably would have been somewhere in the neighborhood of a 25 to 30 point underdog, in this game. They lost about by the margin I expected them to lose by, so this was no disgrace. Cascade amazingly actually had the lead after one quarter, 18-16. However, what's really interesting is that at that point in the game, when we had the 18-16 lead, Trevor Taylor, Edgewood's superstar sophomore 6'3" guard, had 12 of his team's 18 points. And then in the second quarter, he started getting his teammates more involved, and he scored a fairly modest, by his standards, 6 points in the second quarter. However, Edgewood then started to pull away. They outscored Cascade 16-5 in the quarter to take a 34-23 halftime lead. And then in the second half, Cascade fell in early. They just knew they were in over their heads. They started playing, with desperation, and they just stopped playing with care and instead just started playing with desperation, knowing that they had little chance to win, and just seeming like they weren't playing with a lot of confidence. And then Edgewood ended up getting a margin as high as 30. The final was 26. The final score being 76-50. So look at the individual scoring. First of all, for Cascade, Stephen Alderson had 12. Benson Walker had 9. A.J. Sanders had 8. Mason Tharp had 7. Gavin Hetler had, Cameron Ginter had 5. Gavin Hetler had 4. Bryson Phillips had 3. And Will Lanphier had 2. So 8 cadets actually did score tonight. Meanwhile, for the Edgewood Mustangs, 9 players scored, led, of course, by Trevor Taylor with 27, followed by Tate Balcom with 15 and Cameron Bannister with 10. So there were 3 double-figure scorers for the Mustangs. And then, in addition, Kyle Rogers had 7. Joe Keto had 6. Coleman Sater had 4. Austin Schwartz had 3. Derek Farkas had 2, and then the player who wears number 3 and whose name is not on the roster had 2. So it was, while Trevor Taylor, probably the best player I've commentated all season, probably one of the 3 or 4 best players I've ever commentated in my 7-season high school sports commentary career. Certainly, he was outstanding, but it was very much a team effort. And like I said, it's interesting that he scored 12 in the first quarter, and we were still up by 2. And then it was the second quarter he started dishing the ball a lot, getting his teammates involved, and 8 of his teammates ended up scoring, including 2 in double figures. And keep in mind, they have 3 other players besides Taylor averaging double figures. So like I said, I really believe this team is going to make a run at the Class 3A state championship. And keep in mind, 2 years ago, I commentated the team that ended up winning the Class 3A state championship, Crispus Attucks, when they beat Tri-West in the championship game of the Greencastle Regional, a game that aired on WYRZ. So, overall, it was a tough loss, but it was an understandable loss. Certainly not an embarrassment. We lost by about what I would expect we would lose by. A ranked team from a higher class featuring, a player who probably is going to go to not just a Division I school, but a major conference school in Trevor Taylor. And as good as he is now as a sophomore, I can only imagine how he's going to be as a senior. And I really hope that I get to, I don't know if we're going to keep Edgewood on the schedule as a non-conference opponent as we're leaving the Western Indiana Conference at the end of the school year. I hope so, because I would really like to commentate that, continue to commentate that young man during his high school career. But nevertheless, it was a great privilege. I'm sorry it was at the expense of Cascade, but it was a great privilege to commentate him tonight. And, there's nobody that we have who is, capable of stopping him, especially since he has 3 teammates averaging double figures. So disappointing that we played rattled and intimidated in the second half. I didn't like that part. That's something, we can, that's something we'll overcome. This is still a relatively young team. We'll learn from this. Watching the game tape isn't going to be any fun, but doing so will help us to figure out how to better handle things like this. And remember, probably nobody who we play the rest of the season is certainly nobody in our sectional now that Jalen Moore and Cooper Neese have graduated from Cloverdale is going to be as good as this player. So it reminds me of the story I heard about Jim Morris, the guy who the movie The Rookie is movie The Rookie is about. That the year he took over, the team had a huge jump in batting average because they had, though they didn't know it at the time, a major league pitcher who was pitching to them in practice. And one of the guys on the team said that after Coach Morris pitched to us in practice, when our opponents were pitching to us, it looked like a beach ball instead of a baseball coming at us. The rest of these, some of the guys we play against the rest of the season after going against Trevor Taylor are going to seem like 6th grade players. So, having played this guy and taken this very painful very painful loss early in the season, that's something that's going to make us better. So, I'm still going to drive home feeling, I think I'd give us a C for our execution today. We executed pretty well in the first half, especially the first quarter. The third quarter was the only quarter I really wasn't happy with the way we played, and it wasn't that we got down. It was just that I just felt like we got intimidated and rattled. And rather than playing our game, realizing, okay, we're not going to win this game, but let's play good cadet ball for the rest of the game, rather than just, making sloppy and desperate passes that ended up, making the margin worse. So, anyway, there will be better days, hopefully starting tomorrow as we return to action against a very familiar opponent, the Danville Warriors, a team who has beaten us 22 consecutive times, and a team that, has especially established itself as a major power in boys basketball in this decade. They've long been an above-average Class 3A team under head coach Brian Barber, but, the last 2 years they've really come alive. They were hit very hard by graduation last season. It doesn't look like this team, who they have now, is quite as good, but they have been ranked earlier this season. They fell out after a 1-2 start, although it should be noted that both of their losses have come to ranked teams in higher classes. They lost, and both in overtime, by the way. They lost to Greencastle, who's the number 17 ranked team in Class 3A, and then they lost to Park Tudor, who's the number 9 ranked team in Class 2A, and also, by the way, who has won 4 Class 2A state championships in this decade. So, they're a team that really not quite the Danville team that the last couple have been, but still a team that is going to go in as the clear favorite against us. And especially, like I said, that we have not beaten them in the last 22 games. So hopefully we will at least be competitive. But the important thing is to keep on, just play the best that we can no matter what. And, continue to improve from game to game, overall we've done that this season. I remember it was just 2 weeks ago, Wednesday, the Thanksgiving Eve game against Tri-West. We've already improved a lot since then through our first 6 games. Gotten a couple of wins in there, and not marquee wins, but quality wins. And sorry, my computer froze up a little bit. But Danville enters this game now with 3 double-figure scores, and only one is a junior. That's Connor Jones. He averages 15 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists a game. So very much a do-it-all man. Then they've got a couple of then they also have a couple of juniors who average in double figures. Sorry, the computer here is freezing up a little bit, so thanks for bearing with me. And then they also have a junior Sam Comer, who is has got good size at 6'5", so he's has enough size that he can really give. We've got, a lot of our opponents don't have anybody that tall, but Comer will be able to, hopefully not, but it looks like he probably will be able to give Benson Walker a lot of trouble on the inside. Comer averages a team high 16 points, and as well as 3.3 rebounds, 2.3 assists, and 2 steals, and finally their other double-figure scorer is also a junior, Dylan Ware, who averages 12.7 points and 9.3 rebounds, as well as 2.3 blocks a game. And he's 6'6", so with he at 6'6" and Ware at Ware at 6'6" and Comer at 6'5", I expect that we'll probably get Gavin Hetler more minutes tonight, and maybe even Will Lanfear, get some minutes off the bench to try to combat that size, because at 6'8", even though Walker's a little taller than those two guys, he's probably, he would probably have a hard time with both of them being in the game at the same time, especially since we don't have another guy taller than 6'2" who plays heavy minutes. Although Cameron Ginter being 6'2", almost horizontally as well as vertically, certainly does help him a lot. He's a very tough physical player. So not likely we're going to end our 22-game losing streak against Danville tomorrow, although keep in mind the boys in football did end a 25-game losing streak to Danville this season. In the season opener, the game we dedicated the field turf surface over at the stadium, and with that dramatic 11-yard touchdown pass from Dylan Kotkamp to A.J. Sanders with 3 seconds left, and the all-time favorite call that I've ever done, where I totally went crazy. So that's certainly something, even though the football team went a modest 5-6 this year, that win, and keep in mind a lot of the football players play on the basketball team too. I think they'll remember that and draw inspiration from it, because nobody, including me, gave them much of a chance to win the game, and yet they did. And it turned out that was not quite as good a Danville team as we had expected them to be. They ended up fairly modest by their standards, 6-5, only advancing to the second round of the playoffs. This Danville team in basketball 2 years ago won the sectional, last year the regional. This year's team, it looks like they're going to be good, but probably not as good, after, being hit very hard by graduation last year, especially losing Alec Burton, who's now playing football. He's a wide receiver playing football at the university, or at Ohio University, although he could have been a very high-level basketball player too. It's just football was the sport he chose. So anyway, I wish it were going to be a doubleheader. I'm getting spoiled with all these doubleheaders. We do have another one a week from tonight for my birthday, and then we have two more in January. One on Wednesday, January 2nd, to kick off the Hendricks County tournament here at Cascade. Both games being against Plainfield, and then on Friday, January the 11th, against Cloverdale. So, sometimes I feel like I'm getting a little too greedy. You give me two doubleheaders on consecutive week. Give me a doubleheader on 2 consecutive weekends, and I want one every time I come out here. But I even when I come out here for a single header, every time I come out here, no matter what it is, I have the time of my life. So thank you so much to all of you for having me, and I hope you'll keep on bringing me out here for several more decades, and like I said, as long as you ask, I'll be here, because very few things I love in life more than commentating sports, and especially Indiana high school sports, and I've never felt at home anywhere like I do at Cascade. So thanks, as always, for having me, and I'm proud to be an honorary cadet. So once again, your final scores here tonight in this boys-girls varsity basketball doubleheader at Clayton. The girls beat Edgewood 41-35. Cascade improves to 3-6, winning their third consecutive game, while Edgewood drops to 2-9. And then in the boys' game, Edgewood wins 76-50. Edgewood, the number 10 ranked team in Class 3A, improves to 4-0 on the season, while Cascade drops to 2-4. Well, this concludes our broadcast. As always, thank you so much for joining me, and I cordially invite you to do so again tomorrow at 7:15 for the pregame show, as your Cascade Cadets return to action in boys basketball to play the cross-county rival Danville Warriors. Until then, for audiosportsonline.com, this is Lec Zorn reminding you, there is a difference only you can make.